Hi, Sherry here. This week we're talking about assessment and its importance or lack thereof in the classroom. Alfie Kohn believes that teachers and parents should not reward children. So, how do teachers and parents reward children? Well, I'm a parent. I have 5 boys. They range in age from 16 to 2 years old. If I tell my 16-year-old to do his chores and I give him $10 every week for doing his chores, I am rewarding him for doing something he should just do. This is an example. Another would be in school. My children used to attend a small school in Oklahoma. The school was so small, all the students from the 3-year-old pre-K class to the seniors were in one building. They had a program in place that was a reading program. The towns around the area donated bikes and toys, games, and free services. The students who read the most books were entered into a drawing, and the ones who met requirements were given one of the items. To Alfie Kohn, this is a reward that he believes shouldn't be used. I don't see anything wrong with giving rewards as long as it is reasonable. Giving my sons, who are 16 and 8, money each week for completing chores, in my opinion, is teaching them to be prepared for responsibility later in life. To me, not giving my children money for work done around the house is telling an adult that you should go to work and not be paid because you're contributing to society, and that should be good enough. I do, however, see a problem with parents who give their children everything. There's a video on YouTube that my 2-year-old watches. In the video, there's a little boy who opens these giant eggs that are filled with toys. He has tons of toys, and in the video, sometimes he's playing with the toys and other times he's opening gifts. I see a problem with that. Sometimes I think parents give rewards for the wrong reasons, and sometimes I think we give rewards to keep our sanity. As far as assessments go, I'm not really a big fan of state mandated assessments, but I do believe that assessments do have a place in school. I think that it's wrong to gauge a teacher's effectiveness on a test based off of a test that a child takes. I also don't believe in value added measurement. I think that a teacher who is evaluated based off of a child's test or even a child's test from a school down the road, I don't think that that's fair. The teacher should be observed. They should look at the student project that students present to the class and formative and summative assessment that the teacher gives during lessons. If a student shows improvement in a subject area, shows knowledge in a lesson, or gives a presentation over a project that does well, that should show that the teacher is doing their job. There's 2 types of assessments that I think are good. One is summative, which is given at the end of a lesson, and formative assessments, which are given during the lesson to ensure that the student is learning the content. As a teacher, you can give assessments at the beginning of a lesson. For example, ask what the students know about what they are going to learn. So I might ask my students, what do you know about the pyramids in Egypt? Then I'll take what they know and add what they don't know. During the lesson, I could give them a quiz, which would be a formative assessment to ensure that they are learning the new material. And when the lesson is finished over pyramids, then I could give a summative assessment to see what all they've retained from the lesson. So instead of giving them a multiple choice assessment, it could be an essay. They need to write that includes key points such as who built the pyramids, why were they built, what are some of the most famous, and are there other places in the world that contains pyramids? Assessments, in my opinion, should be about the lessons they are learning, not a broad generalization. When you give a state test, someone in an office believes a student at a certain age and grade level should know. So they're not actually learning what the student knows. Students are not all the same. They don't learn in the same ways or at the same pace. So a test that covers a whole group isn't, in my opinion, a true test of what a child knows. We have the STAR test. To me, the STAR test is we're teaching to the STAR test. My son, who's 8 years old, brings home papers all the time, and in the top right-hand corner, it always talks about the STAR test. That is not a reason to be learning it. Dana Goldstein in the teacher wars, she says that by 2005, the NEA's National Survey of Teachers showed that 60% identified testing demands, teaching to the test as the single biggest hindrance to public education. That to me is a problem. When I first started going to college, I had to take mod classes for math. There were mod classes for math and reading. When I applied, I had to go take a test to see if I was college ready, just like everyone else. And if the student that took the test wasn't college ready, then they had to take a mod. I remember one time overhearing a professor say that most students coming into college were not prepared for college level work. I don't understand why that is, but I do think that if a teacher, year after year, is teaching students the exact same thing, which is to pass a test, then what is the student learning? In conclusion, I do see the value of assessments if done correctly. I do not agree with state-mandated tests. I do not agree with Alfie Kohn that there should never be grades or testing or rewards. But I do agree that it should be given in a way that a child learns something. I like summative and formative assessments. I believe that is the best way to judge what a student knows and what a student has learned. I am not for assessments that determine a teacher's teaching ability. So tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with state-mandated testing? Do you agree with testing that determines a teacher's ability? Let me hear your thoughts.